Welcome to the next episode of KapVista Klips. Today we're with Warwick from Orefox, and I'm excited about this one because it's a technology play in Australia in one of Australia's favoured industries. How are you?
Oh, great. Thanks, mate. How are you?
Good, good. It's busy. The year is almost ended. I don't know how we are in October and where the year's gone. But yeah, we're here. We're here. Let's. I'm excited to get started in this one, but I want to understand. Tell me about your background. How did you get to this point? What's your expertise? What brought you to Orefox?
There we are. My I say recent background in the last 15 years has been mineral exploration. Started off in gold exploration, then moved into copper/critical minerals. And sort of what we noticed around 2014-ish was that number one, mineral exploration is incredibly inefficient. It takes a lot of money and a lot of time. Small companies are always trying to work out what they should spend their money on. They never have the right tools to do things. And with all the new data types coming through, there wasn't the way to interpret those data sets efficiently and to bring insight into it. There's a lot of bias in geology and exploration and things like that. And so we sort of set about working out, how can we make this more efficient? What can we do? What tools can we use? And we were lucky at the time that Queensland University of Technology was running an accelerator program. And we sort of pitched a very broad idea to them, and they liked it. So we got through their accelerator program, which helped us dramatically sort of tune the idea and what we're doing and everything like that. And they also invested in us. So they were our first investor. And so we started building a pretty much a consultancy company out of that, using the latest artificial intelligence type tools tuned into a more exploration type setting. But the problem that we soon found with that was, when you run a consultancy type business, to scale that business, you need more bodies, and more bodies that think just like you. And so that was difficult for us to do that. And so COVID came along and gave us a chance to sort of pivot out of that consultancy model. And we did some hard thinking and some research, and we came up with building a platform for mineral exploration where we can drive efficiency, we can build tools for the industry. They can either use it themselves or they can pay us to use those tools, but they're already incredibly efficient tools, as well as building a bunch of tools that the industry didn't quite know that it needed. It's things like project management. There's no dedicated project management system for mineral exploration, even though it's very specialized and there's a lot of very important milestones, in the operation of that sort of industry that need to be kept up with. And we found through research that most companies were just doing this in Excel, default back to Excel. And so, from our knowledge of the industry and what needed to be done and how we could make it more efficient and bring more insight into it, we started building this platform. And then we had the idea of also adding to the platform basically an app store where any sort of geoscientist can develop an app and monetize it through our platform, just like the app store on your phone, or, in Microsoft and things like that these days, to really make it extendable. And one of the key benefits of that is, unlike some of our competitors in the AI in exploration space, where they have to hire more people to expand, suddenly, we're at the cutting edge of technology without having 200 data scientists working for us internally. And so, that was a great leverage. And we really looked into these platform business models And once you get them going, they tend to dominate an industry, like Uber does, like Amazon does, eBay, Airbnb. Once you have a foothold, they're very hard to dislodge, even if, you have big incumbents throwing lots of money at it.
Yeah.
And so that's basically the history of us.
Okay. Awesome. So tell me about the team. How do they come together?
So it was my wife and I. My wife's a geologist. And so we met at Queensland University of Technology. Married with 2 kids now. Been together and working together for the last 8 years. So we work really well together. A lot of people sort of shake their head when you say that your wife is your business partner, but we managed to do it. And it's really good because, we're both in the same industry. We do our own projects and everything like that as well, so we know what the problems are in industry. And then to initially expand, one of the programs that we were lucky enough to be involved with Queensland University of Technology is actually doing capstone projects for their Masters of IT degrees and their undergraduate degrees. And so we would give them a project, they would build us a feature for free, which was great, but it was also great because we got to work with up and coming, developers and students and things like that. And so from that, we can handpick people that we know are already really good and get what we're doing. And so we started expanding our team through that. So most of our people are from those programs. So we get to work with them for 6 to 12 months before we decide to take them on. And then we've made some key hires from obviously the mining and exploration industry, so that to give us more breadth, because Sheree and myself have worked in junior explorers. Courtney Taylor, who's our head of operations now, she's worked for some of the biggest mining companies in the world. So that gives us a really good breadth of experience across the industry. We've got a couple of veterans. I'm an Army veteran. We've got an Air Force veteran and a Navy veteran as well. So, they bring other really good different opinions and ideas and ways of working as well. And so our team at the moment is about 30. Most of those being developers, but then on top of that, at the moment, we have around 45 interns from Queensland University of Technology, all helping to build us. So, that's our talent pool coming through again as we expand, and we need more people. And we've had a few of our previous developers poached by companies like Rio Tinto. And I wear that as a little bit of a badge of honor that, the second biggest mining company in the world's got to come and poach our staff.
Yeah.
But it shows that we're doing the right thing in the right space.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. You've come from the industry that you're looking to service, so you understand the pain points. You understand exactly what's wrong in the field, and you've built a solution to address that. Now, having that experience, having that background, that understanding of the industry, and building something to fix that solution gives you that competitive edge. You're not a software company that's building something for a space you don't understand. You're building you're a geologist that's building something for that specific industry, and you have the right contacts and the right skill set to grow this business and understand what the pain points are. So with that being said, tell me about the software solution. Tell me about the platform. Putting my customer hat on, what does it look like?
And its basic sort of point. Actually, I'll go back just a little step. What we really wanted to have was really good product market fit. And so, we did a lot of user interviews, because even though, yes, we work in industry, everybody's a little bit different. And so, going out to that network and sitting down with them just like this and saying, all right, what's your pain point? What's the tough bit that you're dealing with? And obviously everybody's a little bit different, and everybody's at different stages in the industry, but you end up, collating all that information together, and then also building that into this platform business model. And so the platform itself is about 2 things. efficiency and insight.
Yeah.
And so the efficiency of it comes that the core of the system is basically a project management system for exploration. And we make that part of it free, very similar to Atlassian, where, there's no book a trial or, I have to ring somebody to get onboarded. We made it really easy that they can just jump on, sign up, put some information in, and they have a valuable tool. A lot of the free tools that we see are very clunky and annoying and don't actually do much. And we're like, no, I want a value add. I want people using this, because we also want to grow our client base where you can go, hey, look, you're using this tool for, 3 or 4 months or a year or something like that. And as your company grows, you can grow with it on the platform. Yeah. And so, also from a business point of view, making it a little bit sticky for your clients. They don't want to move away. Just like, whether you've got an Apple phone or an Android phone, it's really hard to swap between the two. And so, looking at that from a good point of view, but, giving them data management tools, giving them project management tools that are specific to what they're doing, and so they understand it. Also making the tools so that they're tuned to your jurisdiction. So every state in Australia has different terminology of what they call things. And so if you're in Queensland, understanding the right terminology. If you're in New South Wales, getting the right terminology. So that slows our rollout just a little bit, but it makes a better customer experience for everyone. And so through those user interviews as well, instead of actually building, a feature into the platform, we build that feature into the App Store. And so as people progress along the timeline of their projects, they can then go and purchase those apps and customize the platform exactly how it suits them. And so that way, the platform is infinitely customizable. Every user will be different in how they use things and things like that. And we've taken a lot of inspiration from Atlassian on a lot of their tools and things, like, because it works, and and they know what they're doing. And so then you have the customization of the App Store. So whether or not you're doing geochemistry or geophysics or anything like that, or just data interpretation, that there's an app there for it. We have, one of our major apps is a knowledge management system, where a lot of people, spend a lot of time on sort of data management, but in exploration and mining, a lot of it's knowledge management about who went where and did what, and making that useful. And so we built a customized system around that walks people through the process, so they don't have to think about it so much. But also one of the problems with exploration is turnover of staff. And so with our system, you can see what somebody did yesterday, even if they leave and go to BHP tomorrow. What they did yesterday, and it's easy to find. It's not in a file, in a laptop, in the back of a dusty ute or somewhere like that. It's in a centrally managed place. You can collaborate on it. You can manage projects and everything like that.
That's huge. That's huge, because regardless of the industry, the staff retention and turnover is what it's. I remember reading a study, and it said that staff retention and turnover cost businesses billions of dollars every year, because the loss of knowledge.
The local knowledge that you lose. And especially in this, because in junior exploration, we deal with a massive amount of historical data. And we noticed there's just nowhere to put that. This all lives in PDFs, in folders, on desktops and things like that. And we're like, we need to extract that information in context and add it into the projects here. And if you have a new person coming into a project, they can actually, they can reverse sort by date and go, what was the first thing that happened here? And like 1856, Fred Smith kicked a gold nugget on the ground and and investigated all the way through to what happened yesterday. So if you're a new person in on the job, you've got all the local knowledge. We were doing some consulting to a company called Kinross they're a Canadian company, but they had 2 big gold mines in Russia. And their problem, they had a high staff turnover because these mines are in Siberia.
Yep.
And it was a very inhospitable place, but that local knowledge turnover, and their key problem was spelling. Yep. Because a lot of the initial terms were in Russian. And so, I couldn't tell you how to spell Vladivostok right now. Yep. And so I might spell it phonetically, and you'll spell it the right way because you might have seen how it's spelled, but that knowledge is now moving apart. Yeah. Because I'm writing my reports under my spelling, you're writing it under the correct spelling. And so if a third person comes in to look at that, you've got two different areas of information now in different folders on different computer systems. So, we're funneling all that together. And so just making it easier. And we've had massive feedback, from our sort of foundation clients on, when can we have this? We need it now, sort of thing. So, which is really good feedback to have.
Yeah. Okay. And mentioning on that, what sort of milestones have you achieved since, pivoting to, well, you had the consulting business, but then pivoting to the software platform side, what sort of milestones have you achieved?
So we've basically just launched the platform. We didn't want to go out too early with it. But obviously, we needed a demo and things like that. So we have one really strong foundation client who basically they would not take no for an answer. And from, that one client, we've got about $50,000 a month, monthly recurring revenue. Yep. We do, that's not a typical client. We do a lot for them, but they're a really good client to have. Yep. So that's great. And then, we're starting to roll out, we're talking to BHP and Rio Tinto, those sorts of companies. We're doing a lot of proposals to places like Saudi Arabia, yep. South African government, just on, using that, basically that knowledge management system to help them. They're two countries that want to open themselves up to a lot more mining. Mm-hmm. And so, but they understand that they have problems in, getting in and getting that data out to clients and everything like that. So we've got proposals out to them. We've got a lot of interest from sort of mid-tier miners, companies like True North Copper, Aries Resources, companies like those that are, actively mining, but understanding that they also need more insight. Something we haven't really touched on is our AI tools, which, we use to bring more insight in, as opposed to some of our competitors in that space, which, have one big sort of model that hopes to explain it all. We have lots of little models that we pick and choose what suits each site. Yep. And things like that. So we've got a lot of, potential clients there doing that, but we're really looking at, at ramping that up now that the platform's almost live. Like I said, we've got those foundation clients that are using it and giving it that great testing feedback for it. And then, we'll scale it up from there. Yeah.
So in terms of the metrics, what is your monthly recurring revenue in total? You said 50,000 from one client. What does that look like from a company perspective?
Yeah, that's our only revenue at the moment. Okay. Like I said, they wouldn't let us say no. We thought it was a little bit early, but it hasn't been. Yep. So we're hoping to roll that up, ramp that up a lot quicker. Sort of our strategy, our key metric is actually users, not revenue. Yep. Because with a platform business model, it's all about building that flywheel, and you get that massive network effect of the more users that I have, the more attractive it is to developers. And the more developers I have developing new apps and tools for the platform, the more attractive it is for users. And so it's a little bit different, I know, than most companies who are chasing revenue, but having that longer term plan and wanting to really dominate, this industry. And the mining software industry is worth about $10.2 billion at the moment, predicted to go to 14 billion in a couple of years. And so, it's not a monstrous market in the, mining's in the trillions of dollars, what mining's worth, but, it's a good area that we can get a really good solid part of. We've already been contacted by a couple of the the monstrous software houses that go around just buying up mining software, and they're, you know, keeping an eye on us and things like that. Not the way that we want to go, but it gives us an exit point down the road. That, you know, it's always worth having the conversation to see what they're after and what they want, so that we can prepare that and know that, you know, the best scenario is to get them fighting between themselves in a bidding war. So that's a pretty good exit point, I think.
Yeah. So tell us about the raise. How much you're raising, and what's that being used for?
Yeah, look, we're looking to raise, I guess, between 3 and 5 million, and that will really help us launch hard, really get out to the market, and it's all about that launch. We've got a really good pipeline of products coming through, so, you know, we've got that side of it covered, but we really need to go hard and take market share, because obviously, as soon as other companies see, you know, competitors see what we're doing and where we're going, they'll try and copycat. So we really need to sort of take that market early, get as many clients on board, and really make our position, you know, the top dog in the area.
Yeah. Okay. And as you said, once you're in, it becomes really sticky to thing, which is a good place to be from an investment perspective, because once you're in, it's too hard to unwind everything, and which is why Salesforce is the big beast it is, and Atlassian is the big beast it is, because once they're in, it's too hard to roll back, and that's the position that you want to be in. So you're raising 3 to 5 million. It's for launch hard and fast. It's a global focused business with, you know, in a niche market that's still worth in the billions, and it's projected to grow, you know, even bigger. Very exciting for any investor who wants to get in, and considering, you know, mining is $1 trillion industry, or multiple $1 trillion industry, and the big players, you know, across the globe have no issue spending, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars on software to help them make trillions of dollars in revenue. So you're in a market that's high in demand but still niche, and you're providing something that's far better than your competitors. So
and that's it. There's no, like I said before, you know, there's no project management system out there for exploration. And so, you know, the cliche of, you know, we don't have any competition. Yeah, we have competition. You know, Excel is our biggest competition. But, you know, there's just not people developing this, and I guess the competitors would look at it and go, oh, that's not just a market worth attacking because it's so small. But our point of difference is that, you know, our project management is the freemium part to get the clients on board. And then by having a suite of products across that, you know, some of our competitors, or most of our competitors, just do one thing. And so by us doing a bunch of things, you know, we can lose a little bit on that product, but make it back on this one, whereas they can't do that, or they can't come down to free for certain things, where we can, because we have a larger long-term plan, and we're not as profit driven as they are, because they're owned by, you know, massive corporations who just see bottom lines. And we can actually, you know, build a longer term plan and take a lot more from the market than their little niche themselves is actually taking.
Okay, perfect. We'll leave it at there. I'm going to put the details of your offering below this. If anybody who's watching this wants to find out more and wants to get in contact, reach out to me and my team, and we can make a direct introduction to Warwick and Orefox. But thank you very much for jumping on. It's been great chatting to you. You know, I'm excited about the space because it is very niche but still highly profitable. So I'm looking forward to where you take this next.
Excellent. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Bye.